Hey, what's going on, everybody? Benji Kaiser here with Sterling Grinnell. He's a professional photographer out in Colorado, the Denver area. And today we're talking about branding yourself as a photographer. So are you going to go for a company name or just have your personal name as a photography business? So Sterling, what tips do you have for us along these lines?
For anyone out there trying to determine whether they want to do a company name or just a personal brand name, it kind of depends on the direction you're going. And it's also kind of a personal decision. For me, the reason I originally had started out with the name Peak 3 Studios was because I was doing a lot of my work online. So I was reaching out to clients and brands, stuff like that on Instagram, and having a actual name that sounds, I guess, more sturdy, if you want to call it that, something more trustworthy. That was something that I had to purposefully choose just to kind of build those little bits of trust throughout that process, because someone reaching out to you on Instagram is not uncommon for anyone. So anything that I could do to add on to that, to build that trust is something that I did. So Peak 3 Studios was a name that I could do to put a professional spin on things. But there's also, you can do that with your name, but there's just a little bit of advantage there for people that are getting introduced to you first time, as opposed to like, hey, my name is Sterling Grinnell. Want me to take pictures for you? It doesn't really work that well. It's kind of a marketing strategy. I mean, I guess that's the whole thing it is. But after a while, I had developed a strong enough portfolio to where I didn't need to put an alias up to I guess, to build that trust. Instead of that, it became only my portfolio. Like, hey, here's my options. Here's what I can do for you. Here's my website and my work. And that said enough about me to where the trust aspect wasn't in the name. And you look at a lot of like professional photographers, high-level photographers, they don't have some fancy company name. It's usually just their name, and their logo is probably a signature or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's so true. Like anybody, it's like that brand is like them. And that way, no matter where they go, it's just their name. It's funny how different that is from like designers.
Right.
Even cinematographers, same thing, like movie makers.
Yeah. So it's just something that like, once you have a strong enough portfolio where people are hiring you for the specific job that you can do, not because you're one of 100 people that can do the same thing, then that's something for me that kind of signaled, okay, I can transfer over to my name because I'm selling my work, not photography. Does that make sense? Like, picture and use good lighting and proper whatever, but my photography is different, and not that somebody else's you're not better than somebody else's, but it's a certain style.
Yeah. We just talked about that. So if you're curious about another video that Sterling and I talked about, I'll link that up in the links above or the description below. And Sterling talks about developing your style. And I think that's so important with deciding between a company and a brand name. So let's maybe I'll throw this question at you. Say you're going to have a company that does photography, and it's just the right lighting, it's just the right studio, and you're just shooting like a ton of different baby pictures or wedding pictures, but they're all going to look the same because you have a bunch of photographers. Versus you being a photographer and shooting your own photos. Well, I think those tips are super helpful if you're trying to decide between a personal brand and a company. And before we go though, Sterling, where can they find you? Social media, website, what are your details?
Yeah, the best place to find me is probably on Instagram. That's where I spend most of my time and put most of my work. My Instagram handle is just @Sterling Grinnell, which is just my name. Or my website has a lot more of my professional work and kind of cultivated work up there, and that's just sterlinggrinnell.com.
Cool, yeah. And if you guys are curious how to spell that or whatever, I'll just link it in the description below. So you can head down below this video and go check out Sterling's stuff. Maybe you can hire him if you're in the Denver, Colorado area. I'm Benji Kaiser of BenjiKaiser.com, and I'll see you here in the next episode.